On this episode of Wisdom and Hustle, I have the pleasure of sitting down with Precious Williams, founder of Perfect Pitches by Precious, an education and consulting firm that helps clients solve their pitching, presentation, and communication challenges. Precious is the author of Perfect Pitches and a speaker. She's a 13-time national elevator pitch champion with appearances on ABC, Shark Tank, CNN, Wall Street Journal, Forbes, Black Enterprise, and TED Talks.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk to Precious about her journey, about how she started this amazing business, Wisdom for Business Owners, and where she gets all this energy to stay in the hustle. Precious, thanks for being here.
Girl, thank you for having me.
Honey,
Wisdom and hustle. We about that life, and that's what it
honey,
takes.
and speak that.
That's what it takes to make it. And
Yes.
Perfect Pitches by Precious, we rebranded in 2023 to the Perfect Pitch Group because our clientele changed, and that's why I say this is why Wisdom and Hustle is so important, especially right now, because it takes wisdom to know when things are changing and to adapt to those changes. And know that with pandemic, economic downturn, social unrest, economy, tanking and everything, how do you hustle and how do you stay abreast of what's going on and make moves?
Amen. I love it. And make moves because this is the year of making moves, right?
Making money moves, making relationship moves, making financial moves, making opportunity moves. Because there are things happening, even when things are bleak, there are opportunities to be had. And that's why I think that what you're creating is so very important. I'm a five-time number one best-selling author, five-time number one best-selling author. And to do this without coming from entertainment or from coming from sports, but literally creating a lane and moving in it and then plot twisting and flipping the script when we understand that times have changed. I
Love
hope
it.
that in all of the businesses and in all the entrepreneurs that you touch with this podcast, that they understand no one stays doing the same thing forever like they did back in the past. So marrying the old and the new, wisdom and hustle, this is what we need today.
I love it. And we're going to lean more into that later, Precious, because I want you to give us some nuggets of advice based on some of your experience. But, this is all about journeying. And
Yes.
talk to us about like this journey. Like you didn't wake up one day and said, I'm going to start this Pitch Perfect group. Like there was a process. There were some things that happened to get you here.
Queen, there were so many unexpected detours that got me here. I've been an attorney in New York State where I am right now, Brooklyn. And Queen, I just was disgruntled. I was tired. And being a litigator is something that I'd worked towards my entire life. Passing the New York State bar my first trial, all that was great. But after a while, I knew that there was something more in me. And it wasn't going to be confined to a courtroom. I've been speaking professionally since I was 16. And now in my 40s, getting ready to turn 46. What? I've been doing this 30 years. More importantly, it took me meeting an incredible man that changed the trajectory of my life, an unexpected detour. Thinking I'm going to get married, leaving my ex-fiance, and meeting this incredible man. And I'm 327 pounds. Why would a man who's a famous actor look at me? Unexpected detours. Not only did we start a red hot love relationship, but he inspired me to start Curvy Girls Lingerie, my very first company. The company that so many people said would never make it because I didn't have the looks. I didn't go to an Ivy League institution. I wasn't a celebrity, any of those things. And yet I had to trust that God didn't give me that vision and tell me what the name is without providing provision. And so pitching came about just because what else did I have? I didn't know how to do it, but I knew I was supposed to be in certain rooms. And so when family and friends said no, I went to an event I couldn't afford, and luckily the producers of MSNBC heard that pitch, loved it, and knew that I was supposed to be on that show. So to be rejected, that rejection was ultimately protection to be in the right space. And so in 54 seconds live, I walked away with $500,000 and told to enter pitch competitions. Mind you, no one taught me how to pitch. No one. I just knew how to do it.
And so where do you think that came from?
I think it came from being from the inner city of St. Louis, Missouri, and have to think quick on my feet. I think it comes from being an unwanted child and knowing that, you know, at least back then, my looks weren't going to get me through the door like my beautiful light-skinned green-eyed sister. What was going to help me was being able to connect with people. And so my personality had to step up. There had to be something about me that stood out. And that's what I brought to pitching. I brought flavor and energy and passion, in addition to understanding that the fact, figures, and statistics needed to be there too. I wasn't starting a company just, oh, because it sounded like a great idea. I had to have it backed up with things. And just when I'm speaking, when I'm keynoting, when I'm training sales teams of some of the biggest companies in the world, and I'm still Black on both sides, no Brazilian butt lift, no six-pack abs, I still go in, read the room, understand what the elephant in the room and address it. But also at the same time, show them I'm the best in the world that you're ever going to see do this. And I'm in a package you've never seen do it like this. Let's go. So part of that is the inner city of St. Louis, Missouri, and fighting my way out of poverty, having a praying grandmother and grandfather, and utilizing that to have full scholarships at every school I've ever attended, hitting the dream of being an attorney and realizing things have to change. But also, I've never been 327 pounds before. And here I am dating a man that shouldn't even be looking my way. So all of it came down to, I didn't have the look part down, but I had something else, and I worked with that. So my perceived flaws were my secret weapon, and no one ever saw me coming.
Perceived?
So that, my perceived, like, you know, age, race, class, sex, sexual orientation, differently able, disabled. I am disabled. Literally, I'm disabled. My disability people can't see. I was a bigger woman, but instead of being a fat girl, I was a full-figure diva and a plus-size fashionista. So when you change your language, you change the game. And if investors are looking for someone to invest in, those facts, figures, and statistics still have to be dressed up in an incredible story. And I'm tailor-made for television and media, even if I didn't have the Brazilian butt lift, even though I didn't go to Harvard, Yale, Stanford, and Columbia, even though I didn't come from the best families. No one invested like that. So I invested in myself. So that's what it took. And utilizing everything that people said was wrong with me to prove to the world there are more of me out there. And if you see me, maybe you know that your perceived flaws are your secret weapon too.
I love that.
I don't have to be built like Hollywood to make it.
I love that. And it's breaking all those preconceived notions that we think we start off with all these deficits.
Right.
When in fact, we got to figure out, how do we turn that into a positive
Please.
turn into a pitch, please. And so, Precious, you know, like, you are just this, I see you everywhere. You know, I'm a LinkedIn junkie. I see you everywhere. You are on so many platforms, just on so many stages. You've taken this business to several levels up. Like, would you have ever imagined this, you being a recognized business owner? And I mean, you know, has this really kind of changed your life, or are you still kind of humbled us? You still walk in this humble space? I mean, or, you know, tell me that.
Wait, I feel like you came at me with a whole bunch of questions, and I love that. So, number one, yes, it has changed my life. It has changed my life because when I was 5 years old, it's funny, I knew who I was. I knew I was a star, even if my family, community didn't know. I knew. I didn't have the looks of what I have in my personality, the ability to communicate. Like, how do you know that at 5? How does God show you that you're going to be on billboards in Times Square? You're going to host television shows. All those things came to me in my 40s. But I'm 5. So how do I even know that? Why was I signing autographs at 8 years old? Because I just knew I was going to do it, even if no one else believed it. The thing that happens is when you get older, somebody gets stamped out of you. If it didn't happen in your 20s, you're not going to make it. If it didn't happen in your 30s, you're not going to make it. Baby, I'm so glad it happened in my 40s, and the 40s are lit. I'm glad because I've shaken off the weight of others' expectations over who I am. And I had to be rejected a lot in order for me to bet on myself. And when I tell you, the word humble, I'm not humble about my talent. I can't be because the Creator gave it to me. I'm saddened that the word almost made me think that it could never happen.
Mm.
That in my 40s, I've hit a wall, I'm tired and I'm through. And I'm like, baby, I just got started. In my 20s, I didn't recognize it. And I don't think most 20-year-olds recognize the gift that they have.
Mm-hmm.
And that youth will be wasted on the young because you're paying attention to things that really don't matter.
Yeah.
And you'll understand in your 40s and in your 30s that relationships matter. And that's how I've been able to get places. But it's also communication skills that God gave me at birth that manifested later. So I'm not humble about my gifts. I also don't need to be the loudest in the room like I was in my 20s and 30s. I have an air of mystery at times because I want it that way. You may see me on a lot of different platforms, but it's the platforms I want to be on. I'm not on every platform.
Mm.
Because, listen, I'm not trying to oversaturate, and my clientele isn't everywhere. So where are they? They are on LinkedIn. Some of them are on Instagram. Some of them are on just particular platforms. My biggest is LinkedIn. Because those people want to know, I'm not looking for a job, but opportunities come from LinkedIn. So if they see you speaking at, LinkedIn, Google, Microsoft, Federal Reserve Bank, AARP, all these other places, how is she getting there? And it's not Black History Month or Women's History Month.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
How is this chocolate drop with this attitude, with this confidence, with this swag goo? How's she doing it?
Mm-hmm.
How's she getting in here and there's no OnlyFans link with me? You know? How
I
are
don't know
you
much
doing
about
it? So,
OnlyFans,
yeah.
but I know a little bit about OnlyFans, and
Baby, I don't know nothing, but I'm not on it. How about that?
and,
How
and,
about that?
and you
I'm
don't
not on it.
need that. And so I think it's a little bit of Precious that, I think that we have this, sometimes we have these preconceived notions about what we need to do,
Right.
when a lot of times you just need to be your authentic self. Lean into your skills, lean into who you are, with your purpose, your journey, all those things that you're good at. And these opportunities just, like, the doors open. And that's what I've seen for you, Precious. Like, I remember I met you probably a couple of years ago, and now I'm like, wait a minute, what is going on here?
Listen, Queen, I'm glad you said that because when you met me through that great program, I think I was still having some trepidation about myself and can I really show people who I really am? And there's an unlearning. When we were at least I'm 45. I remember growing up and being told you have to fit into this mold, and I never could. So it was always this, like I'm trying, and it's just like square peg in a round hole. It's not working. And then unlearning that and knowing, listen, I have the talent, the skill set, and the receipts. Yes, baby, I come with receipts, testimonials, and all of that. Success from my clients and watching them fly and then being able to talk about me and being very and asking for those things because I know that that's going to put me on the map. And finally, let me just show up colorful and bright. Let me show them who I really am. I was able to do this in the courtroom. I was never able to do this at the firm. I was never able to do this in certain places. So I'm not going to show up in black and navy blue. I'm going to show up, baby. You don't even know what my wig gang going to look like. Am I going to be blonde ambition? Am I going to be blue smoke, purple haze? Am I going to be, red danger up in these streets? You don't know. And that's actually part of my brand is to show up bold and to show up as I am and hit you with the pitch, please. But also, I'm not ashamed to talk about my successes. I've written 5 #1 best-selling books with 3 billboards in Times Square, 2 books reviewed by Forbes magazine. And these aren't things that I paid for.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So being able to move through a room full of vultures, being able to stand out and say, everybody's not going to like me. And I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's not going to hire me. And I got to be okay with that.
Yeah, yeah.
And making sure that in this world of business, just like in the world of relationships and career, go where you're celebrated and not tolerated, but also go into spaces where they've never seen someone like you. And I'm not meaning just in terms of race. I mean in terms of someone who's going to show up and show out regardless.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, all of that. I did not think my life would be like this. No, that I
And
can
Precious,
look
you
out and I'm on the top floor of a building, and I'm looking out my balcony right now, and I can see into Manhattan. I see high level, not eye level,
mm,
and
mm.
that I prayed for this. I was once homeless, not that long ago, and I walked out of homelessness 7 years ago to overcome alcohol addiction, to enter 46, to fall on my face and be told I would never be, to stand here at 45 and say, nevertheless, here I am.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And I like that you say that if they say no, it's okay.
Girls, next opportunity. Thank you
Because
next. Every
you
now and like
believe,
Monday.
if you are a business owner, you believe in what you're doing, it's okay. Because,
And
and I've talked to so many people that they say there's far more no's than there are yeses. There are far more no's than yeses. And so you have really made it your life mission. Like I watch you. You have really made it your life mission to help people like pitch. And it's not always pitching your business idea,
no,
pitching
it's
your
pitching
is
themselves.
pitching themselves. And so when you are talking, and you are really in a lot of corporate spaces, when you're
Yes.
talking to them about this pitching thing, what is that message?
So depending on the reason why I'm hired, but if I'm in corporations, it's usually in terms of rainmaking. They might have a new product or services that they want to introduce, and they're trying to figure out how to attract a particular target market. But before we can even get there, we have to change the mindset around sales pitching and sales scripting. So they've been working with other groups, organizations, and they keep utilizing those same tactics and techniques that aren't working anymore. So my job is to show them that before we even get to the pitching, we have to get to packaging and positioning, right? And so in order to make it rain and slay the game, which is why I went from killer pitch master to the ultimate rainmaker, packaging. How are you showing up? How do you become the only choice that matters? Positioning, are you the Kia, the Lexus, or the Rolls Royce of the industry? And that's not something you can answer. You ask those around you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And most people find out that they're the Kia because there's nothing differentiating. The Lexus is considered luxury and a premium product. You're going to pay for that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The Rolls Royce, it's an honor to work with you and to have you with us. There's a big difference in all three of them. They all can get you from point A to point B. Where do you want your clientele to see you? How do you want to take a prospect into a repeat clients, whether it's at the enterprise level or at the individual level? So these are things that I'm coming to the table with, learned over the 14 years I've been in business. So starting to get the mindset change in addition to sales pitching and sales scripting. That is the difference maker. And you're dealing with someone who's a 13-time national elevator pitch champion, international professional speaker for 30 years. You're dealing with someone who's trained over 500 pitch champions. And if we get into second and third place, we're talking in the thousands. I've been a pitch trainer for accelerators. I've worked with a number of companies, corporations, foundations, nonprofits, and private associations, and did it all the way black. All the way black. I'm still black. There's nothing light about me. There's nothing ambiguous about me.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so I'm not coming to the table with, I just watched this thing and I can do it. No, no, no. I've been doing this a long time. So I love the respect that is put on my name and that this isn't a popularity contest. When the right people know you, watch how things change. And I show up as I am. I'm not code switching, and you know that.
Well, but that's
They're
what
not
they're looking
hiring me to
for.
be any chocolate covered anything. They're hiring me to, person's gonna come in like a wrecking ball, like Miley Cyrus. She's a wrecking ball. She can marry the old and the new very well, and she can show you why she's worth every penny. It's an honor to work with her. Period.
Well, Precious, I think that's, I would imagine that's why they're reaching out to you because they want you, they want your energy, they want the Rolls Royce of you because they themselves are trying to become the Rolls Royce of themselves. And so I think there's going to be this explosion of small businesses in the next few years.
Right.
Just given our environment, all that's
Mm-hmm.
all that's happening, and we'll leave that there. But I think that we're going to see something very similar that happened in COVID,
Yep.
and particularly for women of color.
Right.
And so I like these nuggets that that you're giving to these corporations that are very similar to what people need when they're starting a business, they're staying in the business. And so talk about like how those similarities are going to necessarily be needed, particularly, if you're trying to, you know, push that widget out there, push that service that you're providing out there.
Queen, these companies and these small businesses are still trying to take prospects and turn them into clients and repeat clients. So
Mhm.
how do you bait, attract, and close? It's the same issues, just at different levels. It's just the same issue. So whether you're selling lipsticks or water or SaaS products, how do you get them to notice you? How? So some people do trade shows, some people they do ads, they do certain things. But there might be other ways that you can truly get yourself out there. Yes, you can utilize the power of social media. Yes, you can see where are your people really at
Mhm.
and test things because testing isn't a guarantee, just like business isn't a guarantee. But try things. It took me a while to truly understand that LinkedIn was my number one place where they don't go to my website, they go to LinkedIn when it comes to me.
Mhm.
What? Number two, your network really does matter. If your network does not inspire you, if they don't clearly know what it is that you do and be able to articulate that when they hear of opportunities, you're dead in the water.
Mhm.
You're dead. So does your network know what you do? Actually, this might cause you to educate them, especially your VIPs. People still think thought all I did was pitch. Didn't understand that business,
Mhm.
client acquisition, business development, and sales. I had moved on, but I had to tell them that. I had to showcase to them and have private conversations and then teach them how to pitch me if an opportunity comes up in those areas or with these companies, corporations, foundations, nonprofits, private associations. This is not an inside job.
Mhm.
This is a you and your network, which is why I started creating a perfect pitch blueprint because there are 6 different forms of pitching: your
Mhm.
elevator, your media, your investor, your sales, your speaker, and your interview pitch, which is different audiences. How are you able to do that with different audiences? Then we created our rainmaking speaker triple threat bundle. Speakers are always asked to speak for free. I don't get asked to speak for free. Why is that? Because of the positioning.
Mhm.
So how do you become the only choice that matters? So you have to understand what packaging, positioning, and pitching does at the enterprise level and at the individual level. And finally, why should somebody hire you, book you, and refer you? Why should someone invest in you?
Mhm.
You need 150 reasons why. 150 reasons. You might say, Precious, I can probably do 5. This is why I told you it's not an inside job. Ask your trusted network. I ain't say your
Mhm.
family and friends because they'll tell you everything that you're doing is great. They never buying from you. Can we
That's
just be
true.
honest about that? Stop asking your family and friends don't. No, they only gonna come around when you hella successful. But the people who are gonna buy and support you, that is your network. So it's an inside job. Ask them why would they? And that's how I learned, Queen, that my pitching and speaking and training, that was a given.
Mhm.
My energy. My ability to make people rise to the occasion, to break them of the habit of going smaller, to show up and show out, whether they're introvert, extrovert, or ambivert. That is why I'm hired, because I'm not giving them the same milk toast or cookie cutter stuff. That's not what I do. I'm gonna put you on the spot, but I'm gonna do it with love. And I'm gonna show you how to stand up and stand out regardless of whatever room you're in. Introvert, extrovert, or ambivert. And you're gonna get this work. We're gonna cook it up in a crock pot. We're gonna cook it up in a crock pot because you're
And
gonna
the
give it
marinade.
work. Come through. So that's just a little bit, but I want y'all to understand you are launching, you are putting things out there, and don't be afraid to test. And some of your tests you're gonna fail it. You're gonna fail. And that's part of business.
I
So while
love
you may
it.
be laughing at certain businesses right now, oh, this is that and the other, it's part of the test. And you get better and better and better. And that's why your network is important. Are they saying your name? Do they know what you do? Because often it's them who will put you in the rooms you're supposed to be in. Just like National Association of Women Business Owners,
Mhm.
just like, Luminary, just like a lot of great organizations, small business owners community, AARP, and all of these. You have to think about this. People have to know you beyond what they see on social media. Are you the right person? And why should I invest in you? Why should I hire you, book you, and refer you? Why? And if it's not clear, get it together.
Get clear.
Get it together. Get it clear.
Clear. So, Precious, you knew at 5 you were going to be great. I love it. And here you are. But we talk about this. This thing is not uh it's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
True that.
And when you started your business, it's not an easy road. Talk to us about like what were some of those challenges? I mean, because it's one thing to have this idea. A lot of us we wake up, we're like, oh, I want to make this, or I want to sell this, or I want to have this business doing this. But we never really know all the nuts and bolts and pieces that go into making all this happen. And so what were some of your early challenges when you decide I'm gonna land here?
Wait, I'm gonna give you early challenges and challenges today. Can we talk
Okay.
about it? Can we talk? Can we talk about it? Because I'm about to go there. Number one, the first challenge was truly believing in myself when everyone was saying no, that
Mm,
I didn't measure up. I even had a friend who looked nothing like me tell me, "Let me be your spokesperson because it seems like your own people don't respect you, and you need a white front person for your curvy girls
mm,
because they think that I started the business and it's you who did it. So they respect me more." And having to tell her, "Thank you, but no thank you.
mm,
Your
mm.
service, thank you for your services. Thank you. I'm gonna make this work. Clark Atlanta, I'm gonna find a way to make one." Number two, I fought a lot of odds to get here.
Mm.
What other odds are coming? I don't have an Ivy League degree. I didn't come from a certain family. There was no big investment in me. I put my last dollar into this and I got nothing. I got negative $400 in my bank account. Negative. And here I am pitching to the producers of MSNBC. It's my Hail Mary. They could laugh at me like Carrie. Instead, they put me on national television. Three, the love of my life died right after I was on Shark Tank. I had no reason to live. Tried to take my life. And I'm still here because something in me, God wanted my purpose wasn't over. Four, choosing the wrong business partner
Mm,
because I was scared I wasn't smart enough.
mm,
Turns out I was. My challenges today is that success changes how people see you. So people will assume you're always rolling in money, and you're not, especially when you start a team. And that it's not about me anymore. It's making sure that we're all eating. And that's a different type of responsibility. So when you're working at big companies, you're one in a number.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
What happens when it's you or the decision maker and you are supporting families? One quarter could be devastating. 2 quarters of not being able to have, that's devastating. So everyone doesn't always have all this money when you think they are. And you're expected to support all your other friends' businesses at the same time, and you
Mm-hmm.
can't. Plus, donate to good causes. Like people assume you're made of money. All of a sudden, you're asked for sponsorships for everything, and you're like, I cannot because I'm still growing. And having those conversations. The other part of success is all of a sudden people don't like you because you, in some ways, have transcended what they thought you were capable of, or you're in certain rooms that they're not in. So they will block you from other rooms. Oh, yeah, we can talk about it. Yes. Success changes the spaces you're in. I'm not a token, even if I'm the only one in the room. So how do you move through rooms? And I had to start not doing, I don't have to be the loudest. I can be mysterious. I don't have to open my mouth. I'll let you keep guessing. And when it's time, I'm gonna pop out and let you know what time it is and why I'm here. But I'll never have to say, I'm here because, or I'm the killer bitch by Mel's Mermaid. I ain't got to say nothing. My presence is unnerving. That's what success does. It changes how people see you. Now you unnerve people because you have the audacity to have confidence when you're not supposed to. You have the audacity at 45 years old to think you're the prettiest you've ever been, the flyest you've ever been, and you're not in your 20s. I don't have a Brazilian butt lift. My boobies aren't sitting up on fleek like in my 20s. And yet I got the confidence of David and Goliath. My slingshot is pitching presentations and selling and my slingshot is I knock down the very organizations that they thought would crush me. Finally, I'm the celebrity of my own brand, but I'm not a celebrity. So when celebrities enter certain spaces, you can be pushed to the side because they want to be in their faces. And you have to have the presence of mind to know that's not the only thing I can do. Now it's time to bless and plot, twist and flip the script and show them how really talented you really are. So I can change lanes, I can change positions. I'm not static. So yeah, I've encountered a lot, but the blocking, the saying the only reason I got here is because of, and never once mentioning talent and being able to adapt, being able to communicate, being able to connect. So yeah, I've experienced the nastiness of the beginning, and actually when success changes things, or when there's too much week at the end of the money, and yet you hold your head up high because I had negative $400 and flipped it into $500,000. I could have $0 today and freak it. It might take longer now, but I'm down for the ride.
I love it. You know, I always say, Precious, that when you've gotten to a certain place in your business, people look at you from the outside. They're from the outside looking in, thinking she's made it. She's doing X number of dollars. She's got all of her marketing together. And the reality is, you pull back the curtain, it is not always tight.
Girl, this is important what you bringing up. No.
It's all that appearance, and people don't understand that, you look good, but behind the green curtain, you are still struggling. You're still trying to get more clients. You're trying to meet payroll. You're still talking to the people who are your branding folks to say, that's not the image I want of me out there. Like it's a hustle. It is a hustle. And so, these conversations are really about, helping people who are trying to get started and trying to stay in that game. And so like, a lot of people don't know where to start. You just start, and you just keep working it. And so where did you start? Like who did you lean on? Who were some of your mentors and what did you read and where did you go?
I've been in a number of programs. So workshop and business opportunities, Babson College's Be Well program, the first cohort, Black Women's Entrepreneur Leadership Program, C200. I've been in NABO / AARP's Power to Dream, and just a number of programs. But when I started Curvy Girls, I went to the library at 34th and Madison, Civil Science Industry Business Library. And those librarians played no games with me because I was writing my business plan. You can have the idea, but I wanted to justify it. And it was interesting that a lot of surveys and a lot of data wasn't on plus size women in lingerie, right? It was on the Victoria's Secrets and the journals and the World for everybody before. So I had to, it was almost like having a vision, taking this information and pushing it forth. And how do you find how many plus size women are out there? How do you reach them? There's an education part, all of these things that was helped by the research librarians at 34th and Madison in Manhattan. So those really were my first mentors, and then workshop and business opportunities. I even like the fact that MSNBC's Your Business with JJ Ramberg and just meeting with those investors. So, winning 13 national pitch competitions, Black Enterprise, what Alfred Edmond, just when I look back, I couldn't have done this by myself. I needed people to point me in the right direction, help me to expand on my vision. So when I was in competition or when I was pitching, I was standing on business, not business, not an idea, not a thought. Now I call it a thought. No, I know what I'm talking about. And I can converse with you, but I can also show you the depth and breadth of how deep this rabbit hole goes. So it started there. It started Weibo. It started Black Enterprise. It started, and I remember reading Black Enterprises way back when and envisioning one day being on the cover or being in it. And my last pitch competition was Black Enterprise, May 16, 2013 in Columbus, Ohio, sponsored by Nationwide. And when Robert Townsend called my business name that I'd won, 5 heartbeats. Apparently, like an MC Light called me the killer pitch master. That means I won nationally. All those entrepreneurs, celebrity entrepreneurs, like the greatest and Black entrepreneur was sitting in front of me. It streamed. The judges, I won them all. And that's why I tell you, these full circle moments. I wanted to be Black Enterprise, and I did it in my last competition. I've won all of these competitions. I've raised $750,000. I'm still fat. I'm Black on both sides. I've done all of these things. And yet, pitching is how I got here. No one taught me, but it was just in me. And to be able to do that for others. So get your business plans together. Show that it can work. And I'm not saying your business plan is the end all and be all, but you need to justify it. You do need that. You need others to look at it. You need to be out there talking about your business, getting people excited, putting it out there on social media. Like, get people excited about what it is that you're doing. But start on that business plan and start to justify. Talk to learned professionals. Get into some great programs. And if you don't have the money, get into the free ones, because they often have relationships with those who can help you. SCORE. SCORE didn't help me way back in the day. Did it help me as I grew? Yes. In fact, SCORE became my client last year.
Look at there.
So I'm telling y'all, these are full circle moments. And now I'm teaching in their program. Think about that. We are from 2010 to 2024. That's 14 years. And look what happened in 14 years. It turned doubters into believers. So there are programs to help you. Small business administration, And I want you to put yourself out there. Get them to start having eyeballs on you. I don't care if people are like, man, I'm tired of hearing from you. You ain't my client. You're not my prospect. Those who are going to see me are going to see me and they're going to know. You don't have to, you can block, you can delete. I'm good because you're not who I'm talking to. No way. Okay. So those are great ways to truly start and also get in a great entrepreneurial village of others who are trying to, because y'all can lean on each other and mask off. You ain't made no sales. The math ain't mathing. Talk to the real ones. It makes a difference so you know you're not alone. And also as you grow, and you will, one way or the other, you gonna grow. I want you to know it's worth it. I'm sorry, I know you hear the ambulances and all of that. That doesn't usually happen, but hey, I'm in New York.
That is great advice.
And focus. Because even if you heard all that other stuff, you see, I was focused on my focus. Trust and believe. Business is focus. Everybody's gonna doubt you. Don't, like Beyonce said, I don't gamble, but if I'm gonna bet on anybody, I'm gonna bet on myself. And that's me, and this is me. Let's go.
All right. Okay. So, Precious, what are you most proud of?
I am most proud of my unexpected detours. I am proud that my clients are succeeding and I'm part of their journey. I am proud that I walked out of homelessness September 1st, 2018. And I've been able to survive and thrive without ever going back to homelessness. I am proud that on my birthday, I will be 8 years clean and sober, not white knuckling it. I am proud for second chances. I'm so proud for second chances. I'm proud that I'm in my 40s and it's lit. I can accept success. I don't have imposter syndrome. I be. Don't let me get in my zone. Don't let me get in my zone. These other chicks is lying, acting like the summer ain't mine. Let me tell you something. I got that hot boy on my own. Hot boys. I don't own no hot boys, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm
I
wanted.
do.
And I'm most wanted by me. I'm my own most wanted. I'm not out there looking and begging and pleading and chasing. And I also understand that in entrepreneurship, the grind don't stop. Is some parts easier? Yes. But I'm not gonna lie to y'all and tell y'all this is some easy road and you just do this one program and everything. No, you build. That's why I've written books. That's why I've created programs. That's why I work one-on-one. That's why I work with companies, corporations, foundations, and nonprofits. That's why I love being challenged. Whoever thought I could auctioneer, whoever knew I could raise money in minutes, whoever knew that you put me up, I'm gonna bless a microphone regardless. Who knew that I'm a poet? I'm P the poet. Come on now. P the poet. I'm coming through. So communication is all around me and I embrace all of it. It has helped in sales, business development, client acquisition, pitching, and everything. And it all started because I heard no. And as Ariana Grande, thank you next. Next opportunity. Thank you for saying no because the world said yes, because I kept going. So for your entrepreneurs and those who are betting on themselves and building up their personal brands and their professional brands, embrace the no. I still heard no, not as much as I used to. Because if you ask more questions today, you'll have to less later. You put yourself out more today, the less you will later. And you'll understand that not every platform you need to be on, not every place you need to show up to. And then you get real exclusive. That takes time.
Gotcha. Woo. So, what is next for Perfect Pitches? What's next for Precious?
What is next for the Perfect Pitch group? Creating the next generation of pitch masters and rainmakers through our innovative programs and services. Corporate training contracts, and consistently reintroducing who we are, what we do, and who we serve. Another thing is we're not afraid to ask. So when I'm talking to people that I respect, I also want them to know when things have changed. And I know you remember this, Queen.
Mm.
I am not the killer pitch master or rainmaker, the ultimate rainmaker. So we have more tools in our arsenal to work with companies, corporations, foundations, nonprofits, and individuals, and our international keynotes. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What's next for Precious? P the Poet is creating our P the Poet event. So as I turn 46, I'm reintroducing P the Poet. I am being a gift to those who blessed me and
Ah.
showcasing why I'm so proud that they've been in my life and they've watched this journey, the good, the bad, and the ugly. What's next for me is dating. What's next for me is embracing all that is coming my way and also taking stock of how far I've come.
Mm. It's beautiful.
Loving my parents and my family and my friends and making sure those relationships are strengthened. And to be the number one speech communication solutions company in the world. Legacy, teaching our next generation. And I still have fun. So yeah, reintroduction and just being grateful and thankful. I am clean and sober. I am surrounded by the best people who say my names and I say their names. And every day reaching out to 5 people to let them know I see them and they are loved and to keep going because that might be the only person they hear from that day that wants nothing but their success.
Love
So
it.
that's what's next.
I love it. And with all that is, and with all that is
Click
on the
on the trademark for
horizon,
pitch, please.
okay, and all that's on the horizon for this year and to come, how can people find you?
Oh, I'm so glad you said that, Clay. You can find me in the Perfect Pitch Group. Our website is www.perfectpitchgroup.com. On our website, you'll find ways to work with me one-on-one. So that's perfectpitchgroup.com/experience precious. You can find us on Facebook at Perfect Pitch P, which actually was a Perfect Pitch Group. On Instagram, we're at Perfect Pitch Group. On LinkedIn, you can find me under Precious L. Williams, Rainmaking Speaker. Also, if you all are interested in pitching, we have our Perfect Pitch Blueprint. So you can go on our website and check out the Perfect Pitch Blueprint, which is free, and learn about the 6 forms of pitching. We also have our Rainmaking Speaker Triple Threat Bundle, which has our 39-page training manual. Like, so speakers, you tired of people ask you to speak for free, you want to become the Lexus or the Rolls Royce and get those coins and have that impact, check out the Rainmaking Speaker Triple Threat Bundle. The training manual, the Perfect Pitch Blueprint is in there also, but also the Speaker One Blueprint. So let's make it rain this slate again.
So there is no reason,
No reason.
no reason why people cannot get what they need to take their businesses to the next level, secure that funding, get that capital, get what you need, because Precious Williams is here for it.
All day, every day.
And so, Precious, before we close, because this has been absolutely inspiring, before we close, what are the words or word for wisdom that you have for people who might be starting or trying to stay in business in the hustle?
But this has always been my words. Fortune favors the bold. So boldly go out there and do what you got to do. Put yourself out there. When you're quiet, nobody knows you.
Mhm.
Every day when you get these emails from all these companies you purchased from that they want you to keep buying, I want you to flex. Fortune favors the bold. So I went from being the bad bitch with a power pitch to the ultimate rainmaker. And the companies I work with were never worried about me being a bad bitch with a power pitch, because that led me to rainmaking, packaging, positioning, and pitching. So you see how we switch lanes and switch positions?
Woo, woo.
But I had to be
Chills.
bold
Just
to get it
chills.
out there.
Just chills.
Let's go.
Precious, thank you so much.
Thank you, Queen.
So much. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us. And remember, there is wisdom in the hustle.
Block it.